Y'all, we have some juicy theories sent in by you all that are going to make us question everything. Thank you, Smokes, for the video.
Art is very clear. Nothing but a pawn, and you remain a pawn until you play. The rules are clear. They give you what you have to, but the difference is yours. The question is, how big is the difference?
Are you really intending to win?
Well, why not?
A little echo,
there are
man.
lots
Don't
like
mind
me,
it.
and we're the actual players.
Because
on one side of us are the real cattle who let TV do the thinking for them, while on the other is power who believe that we are and feeble-minded cattle. Over in the barn, they want us to take care of them. But a long time ago, they gave up on themselves, and now they won't lift a single finger. While those who have real power became more than the rest. Became gods. They sit so high up that they can't see us as either a serious enemy or a trusted friend. They have only one problem, that they're not immortal. That just leaves you and me. Sometimes I benefit you, other times you me. Everyone plays a game of their own.
Think you're a player, do you?
I play like the great ones. Take the authorities. Quite unceremonious, but they do have a few lively plays up their sleeves with the people. Every couple of months, they let them blow off steam. Elections, Black Friday, new auto plant, the latest installment of Star Wars, the Super Bowl. And the people just gobble it up. But when people have holes in their pockets and nothing to eat, who's responsible for that? So now, without their beer and football, they need a sacrifice. And you can be certain that power will provide them with a patsy. And it'll be us. Understand? So that is the game.
If you have a $50 bill, and I give it to the barber.
I ain't seen him in a minute.
For my haircut, and then he goes and buys groceries with it from the grocer, and the grocer goes and gets his car washed. And $50 goes from place to place, and after 20 or 30 transactions, the
I love
$50
Andrew
bill
Tate,
belongs to
man.
somebody, and it's worth $50.
I love Andrew Tate.
Whereas if I
Every
pay
young
by
man
card,
watching my videos should go watch
1.5%
Andrew
goes
Tate's
to the bank.
videos instead. I'm not even gonna lie to
And
you,
then
bro.
if he takes the money
Go
out
watch
and
Andrew
then
Tate
pays
instead of me,
for the
man.
groceries,
Because Andrew Tate's gonna tell you real ass
That's
shit.
so true.
And after
Realer
the
shit than
groceries
I
are
could
paid
tell
for,
you
he
right
goes to
now.
His car wash, 1.5% goes to the
Andrew
bank. So
Tate is
after
the realest
20 or 30
motherfucking nigga alive.
$50 is gone, the bank has it all.
I got a lot of love and respect for Andrew
that's why
Tate. He's
they're
taught me a lot of lessons.
That's it.
Just by me watching all of his
CBDCs are the next
podcasts.
level because once the money's completely
I watched
digital, then they control everything.
damn
they do.
near
They
every
control where it
Andrew
goes,
Tate
but they can also
podcast.
control how and when it can be spent. Imagine some
There's only
terrible
so much
future
information you can retain, but
dystopian society where your money arrives and they say it can only be spent on
absolutely.
food, or it can only be spent on vegetables because you've had too much meat this week, or you can't.
They're trying to
buy
control us. They're trying to control us.
transport to a particular area because there's resistance to government oppression in that area.
Right.
So your money won't work for trades right now because nobody can go down there because we don't want everyone in a large group. We want everyone at home in their pods. And they can track everywhere it goes, and they can also track how it's spent, and they control how it's spent. They put time limit on it. You have an hour to spend this money. It's scary. Like, think of all the ways they can inflict control over it.
Government in Latin means mind control. Usually I skip the ads, but now we fuck with Perky around here.
I'm going to cook some
W Perky,
elaborate
man.
meal every
Y'all go
single
buy
day.
it
Between
and use your
filming,
code, alright?
editing, running errands, and just trying to enjoy life. I found myself buying groceries with the best intention and then watching them slowly expire in my refrigerator. That's honestly why I've been loving Factor. Factor delivers chef-crafted, dietitian-approved,
Hey, I also got it
straight to your door, which means I can eat well without spending hours planning, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. What I like is that the meals are made with quality ingredients, balanced macros, and every meal includes at least 2 vegetables, so I don't have to spend time wondering what I'm going to eat or putting together a meal after a busy day. Since this was my first time trying Factor, I was really looking forward to seeing what all the hype was about. I tried the jalapeno lime cheddar chicken, and what stood out to me most was just how convenient everything was. Having a meal ready in minutes without having to plan or cook is honestly a game changer on busy days. The best part for me is that there's no prep work and no cleanup. I just heat it up, eat, and get right back to what I was doing. And apparently I'm not the only one who feels that way. 97% of people say Factor helps them live a better lifestyle, and 92% says it helps make life less stressful. I've genuinely enjoyed trying Factor, and if you're looking for a way to save time while still eating well this summer, I definitely recommend
Hey, and James C. Baby Go, all
head to
platforms, y'all.
factor75.com or click the link below.
Man, but
and
all
use
platforms, let's be
code
real, niggas.
PERKYFB50
Who the fuck
to
uses
get
Deezer in
50%
that shit,
off
nigga?
your
You go
first
box,
Factor
man,
box,
that shit.
plus free breakfast for
YouTube,
1 year. That's
SoundCloud,
code
Spotify, Apple
PERKYFB50
Music, the big
at
four. Come on, all that shit, man. Come on, go check me
factor75.com
out.
to get
If you're using something
50%
outside of that,
off
bro, I
plus
don't know,
free
my
breakfast
nigga.
for
Who needs
1
more?
year. Perky FB50 at factor75.com. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription.
That's a white ass.
Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring
Thank you, God, man. Look at my teeth, bro. It looks so good.
Well, Secretary of War Hegseth just got a live demonstration of directed energy weapons. He says the Pentagon intends to buy tens to hundreds of these in the coming years. It's the first known viewing of a directed energy weapon demonstration by a sitting war secretary. So what are they? Directed energy weapons fire concentrated energy at the speed of light. And for years, intelligence officials working abroad have reported brain injuries known as Havana syndrome. The condition could be linked to directed energy weapons. Earlier this week, we spoke to Emmy Award-winning investigative journalist Catherine Herridge, and she says the domestic threat is very real. Take a look.
That remind me of the mosquitoes.
But I think this idea that there are domestic attacks and that they haven't targeted civilians is just not correct. It's not borne out by the evidence. And again, the trend that I'm seeing is that the cadence of attacks inside the United States, I think, has escalated. My information is only anecdotal, but I do believe that the 4 years under the Biden administration where we said there's nothing to see here, there's no novel weapon, there's no foreign adversary, I think this was a tremendous disservice and emboldened those who are behind it.
I'm just still stuck on the fact that they called us conspiracy theorists about DEWs when this just got confirmed. Pentagon funds directed energy weapons, which means DEW. That's why my favorite quote is the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory is that you give it 3 to 6 months because it always comes out.
They try to call us conspiracy theorists about Pizzagate. All that was real. No, but we already know the internet full of bots. That's basically what this. I saw the video. Internet full of bots. The dead internet theory is true. Search up dead internet theory.
Pouring out Trump propaganda. Now, is Trump behind this? We don't really know. Whirlpool just dismantled a sim farm for hire platform that powered 49 million fake accounts used for global fraud. 49 million
insane.
In one
room,
that
49 million.
Imagine how many other bot accounts. I told y'all, half the people we interact with on a daily basis aren't real. The race
bro, this just got me thinking like half the niggas on Twitter that be rage baiting me are probably bots, bro. I swear to God, because I be looking through the pages. Bro, these pages don't even have fucking people, pictures of real people. They're probably bots. And the things that are like, you know, professional pictures too much, it might be fake.
People are trolling on the internet. It's most likely not even a real person, probably dealing with a robot, dealing with a bot. The dead internet theory isn't no longer a theory. It's facts.
The dead internet theory hasn't been a theory for a long time now.
Okay, my bad. It's not a theory. Just look up dead internet.
And to back up a portion of this, Cloudflare apparently has data that says bots outnumber people in web traffic. Apparently, the CEO of Cloudflare had tweeted a prediction that by 2027, bots would outnumber humans, and then he tweeted another one recently saying, well, that was faster than I predicted, and then showed evidence based from the company. Cloudflare's data shows that a little over 57% of all web traffic is from bots. Now, it's important to also remember that web traffic is specifically when you visit a website, when you are on a web page. It's not the same thing as bots that are potentially in comments, bots that are potentially producing tweets or Facebook posts. It is specifically just traveling to and from web pages. And the way that works is when someone goes on ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever, and it searches the web for your answer, it's going onto these websites to pull the answer. That's where that bot traffic is coming from. When you hear this, as well as 40% of Facebook posts are being generated by AI, over half of online articles are generated by AI, 44% of music uploaded to Deezer is AI. It makes a little more sense why so many companies are backing digital IDs and age verification systems, because they no longer can sell ad space based on the metrics they're receiving, because the metrics are more bots than humans. So when the government wants to instill digital IDs and age verification for surveillance purposes, and the companies go, hey, that would benefit us and make us a money, because then we could start using ads again. Let's work together. I'm hijacking the end of this video to remind you that age verification systems, digital IDs, and anything that has to do with keeping children safe online is a scam. It is a surveillance and censorship tool for the government and a way for the tech companies to continue to make money off of you.
All we're looked at to them is profit. They're never going to do anything that's going to benefit us, that's going to protect us, that's going to watch over it. No. We are looked at as profit, as money to them. So anything that they push out, just know it's negative and it has some type of negative agenda behind it. Thank you, Titan, for the next couple of videos.
All right, Apple and have not just partnered. They've actually been partners since 2011. I'm going to show you
how.
Partnered. Now, I love the internet, but there's a lot of disinformation on the internet. One post goes viral, everyone takes that information and just regurgitates it. Nobody does their own due diligence and actually researches this stuff. And if they did, they would have seen that Apple and have been partnered since 2011. And a lot of the technology that's been in our phone, 3D scanning, the microchips, all that stuff has all been developed by. Now, I'm not saying that because I don't want to have this video taken down. My other video was taken down, so with these social media platforms, it's very important that we don't say because they're watching and they're tracking. Now, before I go, here's a couple articles to show you that Apple's been working with.
Now they are convinced that a human being is not just free on his own, but has to go out and earn money so that he can buy freedom. And now they have their purpose in life. Look at them. They're happy, you see? They want to work and to earn, but most importantly, to spend on all their sin. It gives them a high, realizing how they can go out and buy justification for any kind. And we have a price for any kind of filth.
Television. Division. Tell lies.
I ain't seen him in a minute.
Through vision. Be careful what you listen to and what you see.
Yep.
Because you just may become it. Many people like to talk about AI and CGI.
Such a real photo.
But what you don't understand is they've been using special effects for a very, very long time.
Decade.
And what you see on that television is never the whole picture. In 2020, it was all about that virus. In 2021, it was about the... In 2022, it was about Ukraine. I don't know what 2023 was about. I must have missed that one. But guaranteed...
Oh, the artificial sun.
Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
We're gonna hear about aliens. 2025, I don't even know what that one's about.
Digital
so be
IDs.
careful what you watch and what you listen to. Because remember, it's only tell, lie, vision. Oh my days.
We're getting rid of physical copies of games by 2028.
I never
you guys were idiots, but
thought of
I
it
didn't
that
think you
way.
were this
Tell
we're just
lie
reacting
vision.
to consumer trends. Most people are
What?
buying digital
My
now.
mind is
It doesn't
blown
matter
right
if
now
most
from
people
that.
buy
I'm
digital.
not gonna
You're
lie.
taking away
Tell
that
lie
choice from the
vision.
consumers with your only
Because
goal.
I'm a
being
big
to corner the
believer in
market.
words
I told
have
you that.
meaning.
And no,
Like,
we're
you
not
know,
trying to
government
do that.
in the Latin,
Digital is just easy.
you
Just
know,
because
thing
it's
is
easier, that
mind
doesn't make
control.
it better. With physical games, you
Tell
can collect
lie
them,
vision.
trade them,
Oh my
sell them,
goodness,
give
man.
them to your friends, and most of all,
There-
you don't have
that
to
is
worry
not a
about something you
coincidence.
paid
I'm just gonna
for
say
getting
that. That is
taken
not a
away
coincidence.
because you don't
That is
actually
100%
know.
on
We would
purpose.
never
Tell
do that.
lie
You
vision.
literally just
Wow.
announced you're going to do
Okay, then.
exactly that with over 500
Wow.
movies and not
Okay.
give anyone their money
Just
back.
be
You
lying.
really
Wow,
hoping
wow,
you wouldn't
wow,
pay attention to
wow,
that. Also, what does it matter to you?
Hey,
You're a
PlayStation,
PC gamer who
I don't know what
exclusively
y'all
buys
up to,
digital.
but
It matters for a couple of reasons.
I use
Number
Nintendo,
one,
not sure
there's still competition
how
on
much
PC.
they're better
I can
on the
buy a
moral
game from
standpoint.
Steam,
They still
GOG,
kind of,
the
yeah.
Microsoft
But
Store,
I
Epic
don't
Games
mess with
Launcher,
PlayStation
or
no
more,
more,
which
man.
keeps the prices in check. And number 2, I have access
Put
to the
GTA
raw
6
data
on
files, which
Nintendo,
makes it
I don't
way
never
harder
need a
for someone like
PlayStation
you
again.
to just take it away. Well, PlayStation has a dedicated fan base that doesn't care about stupid things like being treated fairly. And you just told those fans they might as well get a PC. Because between the cost of a console, online access, and games that will undoubtedly become more expensive, they now cost the same. And on PC, at least they have options. But if they switch over, they'll lose their library of games. And according to you, they might lose it if they stay. I mean, it is incredible to watch you guys kill your own industry and then wonder why it's dying.
If Nixon actually picked up a phone in 1969 and spoke live to 2 men standing on the moon, what kind of device were those astronauts holding on the other end? Because, well, Wi-Fi
that shit
didn't
was fake
exist.
as fuck, man.
Cell
That
towers
moon landing
didn't
was fake as
exist.
fuck.
And the nearest Verizon store was 238,000 miles away. And here's what makes it even stranger. The same government that couldn't reliably connect a phone call from New York to Los Angeles in 1969 somehow patched through a crystal clear, zero-lag conversation to outer space, to 2 guys in bulky suits on a rock with no atmosphere, no signal infrastructure, and no charging port in sight. But wait, if the moon has no air, no magnetic field, and sits in a vacuum of dead silence,
Man, somebody's comment said it was a test to see if the country would believe it, and they did. They was in the studio doing this.
We're here again. We're here again. I'm a licensed therapist of 22 years, and things in the U.S. couldn't possibly be worse. Let me give you an example, okay? So today I happened to be sitting in my own waiting room. I own a group practice, and there were probably 8 to 9 people sitting in the waiting room waiting for their appointments, and one person happened to start a conversation, which almost never happens in the waiting room. Most people just sit there kind of silently waiting for their clinician, but this person started off a conversation, and it sparked this whole thing about how depressed and anxious and broke everyone is. And that therapy, while great and helpful and wonderful, is barely scratching the surface. I could relate to everything that everybody was saying in my waiting room. Everything is bad, and I'm not exaggerating. It's not hyperbolic. Our healthcare, our taxes, our grocery prices, gas costs are unaffordable. We cannot afford to live in this country unless you're in the top percent. The average person in the U.S. cannot afford to exist. I'm not totally sure how we dig out of this hole. All I know is that we sounded the alarm bells. We are here in spite of that. And it is awful. It's awful.
For the first time ever, those trendy steel cups everyone's obsessed with are now linked to lead poisoning. The worst offender, Stanley.
But it's not your drink you need to worry about, it's how it's made. Sealed into the base of every Stanley is a pellet of pure lead. Here's the trick. It's a cup inside a cup, and they suck all the air out of the gap between them. With no air, heat can't get through, so your drink stays cold for hours. But pulling that air out leaves a hole in the bottom, so they plug it shut with a bead of lead and cap it with steel so you'd never know. Then it loosens in the dishwasher, and hundreds of owners have found raw metal exposed on the base you and your kids grab all day, and it builds up in your body, slowly damaging the brain. Pura flagged Stanley, Yeti, and Thermos for sealing their cups with lead, while Hydro Flask and Owala scanned clean. Comment Pura to expose any product.
Google said if you don't want your music training in AI, don't upload it to YouTube. So for the umpteenth time, I have to say, YouTube sucks. This info came from Google being sued. Shocker. And in that lawsuit, they claim that any individual that uploads music directly to the platform per the terms of service is giving YouTube and Google a worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free, sub-licensable, and transferable license to use that content. For labels that have a contract with YouTube, it would vary label to label, and if their particular license would allow for this. But for indie artists, putting their music on the platform allows Google to use it however they see fit, and there's nothing you can do about it. Didn't you read the TLS? So let's say they use your song to make a derivative copy. YouTube's own atrocious copyright system, either on purpose or just because it sucks, can then strike your song because it contains copyrighted material. YouTube hasn't been about you for a while, and they constantly prove why we need other platforms because they've clearly turned their backs on the people who made their platform relevant.
They were all saying that like YouTube was amazing, was fantastic, was everything before it was overtaken by Google. So I guess when Google came into the picture, that's when everything went left.
Nobody knew that they were putting livestock trackers in our food. This is an actual livestock tracker. Whoever put that in there is gonna know your location. This is exactly what that is right here. It's literally an animal tracker, pretty much, that you can use for humans. Imagine how easy it is to hide one of these small little things inside anything. If you want to know more about this, it's going viral on Reddit right now, so you can check Reddit. But this is actually
small
crazy
little
that we're
rice.
finding
That's
all
wild.
this crazy stuff in our
They can
food.
put
I
that
can't
in a
even believe that
cheeseburger
I'm
easy.
coming to you with another story of a young black child who drowned while in the custody of people. Jerry, who was described as a neighbor, took Angelique on a recreational boat ride at nighttime. They left from the Menkai Marina, which is in Jerusalem, Ohio, along with a 36-year-old man named Jonathan Chia. They took this child out at 10:30 at night. Less than 15 minutes into this boat ride, Angelique went missing. Apparently, her and Jonathan both went into the water somehow. And Jerry, she swam to shore. She called a friend for a ride, and she never called 911 or notified the mother. After Angelique didn't return, her mother called 911. On July 2nd, Jonathan's body was found by a boat that was passing by. On July 5th, they recovered Angelique's body. And both deaths were just ruled an accidental drowning. When Jerry was arrested on July the 3rd, she was charged with a misdemeanor child endangerment. Although it was upgraded to a felony, she was released on a $50,000 bond. And she's pleading not guilty. She made it to shore safely, never thought to call 911 about this baby.
Communist China cured diabetes and America's insulin industry is not happy about it. And why would they? In America, the healthcare system is for profit. That's all they care about. It runs basically like any other company. The whole purpose is to make profit. That's why all over rural parts of America, the few clinics and hospitals that they had are closing down and people are having to drive half an hour to an hour to get to nearby hospitals. It's a system that is not even for healthcare. They don't want to prevent you from getting sick and from getting unhealthy because that means that they lose their clients. You're not patients in the US, you're clients to hospitals and to big pharma. But in communist China, where the purpose of doing things is social good and not just profit, where areas that shouldn't be guided by the profit motive aren't, like medicine, you can have developments such as these. In the US, they make no sense because these are things that'll undermine the profits of a very lucrative industry. That's why in the US, the whole purpose of medicine gets subdued. From Hippocrates, the person that we get the Hippocratic Oath from, we get the sense that the purpose of medicine is not just to treat the ill, but to create an atmosphere where illness itself is prevented. So in the essence of medicine is not just treating people once they're already, but like preventing them from getting ill. The whole purpose of medicine is to destroy the conditions that make medicine necessary in the first place. And medicine in the US, the healthcare system, which is really a sickness system because that's what they profit from, sickness, it's the complete opposite. Instead of abolishing itself, having medicine as something that has as its purpose, abolishing medicine itself, it just seeks to perpetuate it further and proliferate it because that's how they make profit.
Meta has released a new feature that allows anyone to use your images and reels on Instagram and Facebook to create any type of AI slop they want.
No.
So I'm here to tell you how to turn them off. Also, it should be mentioned that I did see this from someone else, but unfortunately I don't remember who. Otherwise, I would put their account here and I would tag them. So I'm sorry about that. Okay, so you're gonna go to your Instagram profile, click the 3 lines at the top corner, scroll down until you see sharing and reuse, and then within that section there should be 3 switches to turn off, 2 regarding reels and 1 regarding images. Meta claims this Muse AI is meant to make AI generation more personal by allowing anyone to generate and reference public profiles. Like, it's not even set to close friends or anything, it's just anyone. All you have to do is tag someone in a prompt and it works. I just got done talking about how Cate Blanchett is trying to combat this exact problem by starting the foundational steps of creating the Human Consent Registry, which states you do or do not want your image, likeness, and voice used in generative AI. This probably fits in my top 5 dumbest things I've seen in the past 10 years. And at the end of the day, this also is probably just a data farming method, or it's Zuckerberg prototyping some sort of system that he plans to later implement into some warfare tech that will then get watered down into something stupid like a Meta hat.
The Trump administration has told employers across the United States of America to begin the process of firing hundreds of thousands of foreign-born workers. So heads up, especially if you or a loved one are here on temporary protected status. The Department of Homeland Security has informed employers in the United States of America that it is time for them to start letting go workers here on TPS. That means workers from places like Haiti, Syria, Myanmar, and elsewhere. These individuals fled their home countries due to civil war, unrest, and more. Persecution, and they were receiving temporary protected status here in the United States of America. They were working at American employers, providing for their families, and now they're going to be let go, as the Department of Homeland Security is essentially saying we're not going to extend their status here in the United States of America, and so you, as the employer, you have to start firing them. Be aware that this is about to happen. Spread the word. Follow along for all the news you need to know about. More to come.
So if you're a passenger in the car in the state of Ohio and the driver gets pulled over